Alright, so we're going to try out some Lotus Field Combo. This particular deck list was from, I believe, the Pizza Box Open for Explorer in April sometime. Obviously, this isn't a deck that sees a ton of play in Explorer. The couple things missing from it is Dark Petition and Hidden Strings in its place. Instead, we're running Mastermind's Acquisition and Strict Proctor build. So we have Arboreal Grazer and Strict Proctor as kind of our early creatures. Grazer obviously lets us hit an extra land drop. Strict Proctor allows us to stifle the trigger on our Lotus Field. And then the rest of the deck in the early game, Sylvan Scrying, Impulse, and Archdruid's Charm is all about finding Lotus Field and Thespian Stage, assembling our combo mana engine. And then from there, we're trying to find Emergent Ultimatum, find Omniscience, and then we have a couple different ways to win the game. You have the Chandra Bala Ged Recovery loop, dome your opponent, Bala Ged Recovery back, dome your opponent, Bala Ged Recovery back, so on and so forth. Then you have the either Fae of Wishes or Mastermind's Acquisition, reach into your sideboard, grab Approach the Second Sun, and win the game with that. Or alternatively, you have a Traxa Grand Unifier getting you a bunch of value trying to win the game. Chandra Soap Beacon is both a nice card advantage engine while also being a way to wipe out a couple of our opponent's threats. Also is one of our main win cons. Kind of does it all in a 6 mana slot. Omniscience is kind of a dead card until we're comboing basically, or digging for our combo. Mastermind's Acquisition, basically Diabolic Tutor for both your library and your exile, or your sideboard. And then Bala Ged Recovery is part tapped green mana source, part recover your various pieces you might need. Vizier of Tumbling Sands, along with Pore of the Pages, is our way to kind of get ahead on mana. Obviously, we don't have Hidden Strings to allow us to untap 2 lands, but you know, Vizier allows you to untap 1, basically nets you +1. With a Lotus Field, Pore of the Pages, it nets you +1 with 2 Lotus Fields, whatever combination in play. So this is +1, this is +1. Hidden Strings can be +4, so that is obviously a huge loss, but the rest of the deck is pretty reasonable. This is Lier. I do believe this is trying to show us, trying to show us the, whatchamacallit version. Alright, so Lier, obviously this is a nice creature. Spells can't be countered, which means you can't counter your opponent's spells, opponent can't counter your spells. Each instant and sorcery in your graveyard has flashback. Flashback cost is equal to the card's mana cost. Obviously, nice card when you're trying to fight the counter spell war. And then beyond that, you know, that's pretty much your main deck. Bunch of lands, you have 4 Lotus Field, 2 Thespian Stage, bunch of green sources, couple Scry lands. You really don't want Surveil lands in this deck because you can't really afford to surveil things in your graveyard, especially if it's one of your key pieces. 1 Otawara, 1 Boseiju to deal with annoying permanents, along with your 4 Archdruid's Charm allow you to blow up artifacts or enchantments. And then obviously Archdruid's Charm allows you to find your copies of Lotus Field, allows you to find your copies of Atraxa or Fae or Vizier of Tumbling Sands, and then has some additional sideboard utility that we'll look at. And then obviously has the fight ability, especially whenever you're having as a common in the sideboard. This is the one we're going to be starting the video with. This was the sideboard of that particular event. A couple Leyline the Voids and a Rest in Peace. This looks to be squarely aimed at, you know, not a Grease Fang combo, but primarily is it Phoenix. A couple temporary lockdowns and a Supreme Verdict against creature decks. Approach the Second Sun is your alternative win con. Emergent Ultimatum, one you can wish for on this board. Zakama, when you kind of become Zakama control along with Atraxa and Chandra, kind of your ways to close out the game. Alchemist's Gambit, I'm not entirely sure why you want the Time Walk effect. I guess there is some situations where you just want to kind of try to end the game and not give your opponent another chance, which completely makes sense. The End as a catch-all removal spell for planeswalkers and creatures. Mystical Disputes for the blue decks. And that's kind of everything in the sideboard. So let's get into some games. Alright, we're here with game, or match 1 of Lotus Field Combo-ish. Alrighty then. Interesting deck. Not gonna play Strict Proctor here. We want the trigger, obviously. Decent chance this just gets countered. Yep. Yep, also gets to take advantage of it, which is kind of annoying. So curious what land do I grab here? Here's this. Get the Bala Ged, I guess. And this is why I joke all the time about the matchmaker doing these weird like song and dances, but in all seriousness, just look at the stupidity. Go ahead and deal with their Thespian stage. Yep, it's got a 4/4. Try this in case they go for the time stop nonsense. It's continuity, shocker of shockers. Thespian Chandra is quote unquote countered. Why on earth would they need that much mana? Gonna grab Thought Distortion here. which I can't even use, so that was kind of dumb. Diffusion! Memory deluge. Yeah, I joke about it, but like literally I never see Lotus Field control anymore, so I do find it really dumb that the matchmaker just pairs you against quote unquote the deck closest to you. So alright, let's just go ahead and give up because I've made too many mistakes this game. Last Sanctity is an annoying card for them to have main deck. Don't really have a lot of cards to board out or board in. Obviously, we probably want the Mystical Disputes. Don't really Thought Distortion on the board. Maybe bring in Zakama. Like it's kind of a race, but also kind of not a race. So, no. Does Resting Beast actually make sense? Don't think so. I think we'll leave Thought Distortion on the board for now. Just kind of do this. Obviously, this version of the deck's a lot worse than traditional Lotus Field because you don't Lotus Field combo because you don't get to play the hidden strings, which make your combo turns a lot easier. Yeah, I grabbed Thought Distortion. Probably should just grab something else at random, like maybe even Zakama or Approach, just like an actual win con as opposed to. You know, forgetting I can't Thought Distort my opponent, so we'll keep his hand. Okay, go ahead and grab Lotus Field Combo, or Lotus Field itself. Should have played Confluence there. Interesting timing. I'm going to play on any additional creatures here. Fae, I mean, basically. Obviously, we get kind of massively blown out if our opponent has Narset's Reversal. But Emperor? Sure.
Now you've done it. Let's come, guards, to me.
Tested Talents and a bunch of Teferis.
Oh, it's on.
Opponent could just kind of go on the offensive here. Yeah, it seems like what they're going to do. Okay.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Currently have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. If I do Pore of the Pages, it's +1, but Zakama, I believe, is 9 mana. Currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that. I think we have enough to do this. Kind of sucks that we didn't have enough to Strict Proctor there, but
I have got new moves to teach you.
let's see. When you find out who your friends are. Old strategy.
You have no idea who you're messing with.
Doop.
You're toast.
Okay.
Here's a spark of hope.
True that. Pick up. Okay. And that's finally enough for my opponent to scoop it up. Damage can't be prevented. Lose the game. And the nice part about these builds is, you know, Archdruid's Charm's a tutor for so much in this deck. So, whether it be the land, whether it be creatures, whether it be Fae of Wishes to tutor for something else. I think on 6 we can do better, potentially. It's kind of less than ideal, but we'll keep it back. Thespian stage for now. It's actually kind of a toughie. It's a very painful hand. Okay. Suspect this might get countered. Does not. We find out who my friends are. Alright. So, grab the tracks. Nope, 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 nope.
I'm known for my excellent kindness. Hurry.
Mm-hmm. Let's go do this. That was dumb. Oh. Seven. Excuse me? You have that trash in your deck too? Okay.
No time for a break.
To be fair, that was my screw up for sacrificing lands that I had no reason to sacrifice. Guess here comes the Wandering Emperor.
Enough.
Sure.
Keep up the pace.
Mm-hmm.
I won't let you win.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's move on. Match 2, Lotus Field Combo. Oop. This is additional. Nope. Try it. Question is, what am I putting back here? Keep Traxa Vizier. Refined. Huh. Pass. Didn't kill it. Just pass, I guess. Okay. Basically cast anything to draw here. One, two, three. Alright. So it looks like we're up against Transmogrify. That's unfortunate. Alright. Out, trigger, decline. Mm-hmm. That's definitely good. Definitely would have loved to have found am I shaving on this question? So victory first. So he has most of the pieces we want. Looks like mulliganing superly aggressively, which is absolutely kind of hilarious. Kind of almost wish we had one more additional land in our hands, so the Chandra. But okay. Go. Sure. Goodbye, Chandra. Mm-hmm. Just pass, continue to build up our mana. Sure. Alright, Pumpkin Seeds to resolve Atraxa. Guess there is some consideration for Leyline the Void if they're on Cat in the Hat. I think I'm inclined to keep this hand. So the reason I'm inclined to keep this hand is literally if our opponent thought sees us, it literally doesn't matter. Alright. Sure. Mm-hmm. Can't really tell if anything from the stick because they could just easily be chilling on whatchamacallit there. Just grab Boseiju here. This is the really difficult position, like some of these sure, you basically already knew my hand, so it was kind of almost a pointless effort. So play this, sack these two. It's interesting that they're sacking that now. Oops. Don't think my opponent realized that they had sacked their that's a little late to the party. Don't think there's any way we survive this turn, unfortunately. Is there anything we can Bala Ged back and actually cast? Yeah, we could Bala Ged back and cycle Vizier. Hope to hit exactly temporary lockdown. Nope. Okay, well. Alright, trying our third and likely final match of Lotus Field Combo-ish. Missing quite a few cards. Whether it be Dark Petition, Hidden Strings, etc. So against a Giganta deck, We'll try it, but this hand's a little slow. Bala Ged into that, into... Man. Turn on Thoughtseize, right? Yep. Probably should take... I was going to say... Thought about it, honestly, Bala Ged was probably the take there, but... Okay, so we're likely up against Transmog. Impulse. That is so very tempting, but I don't think we have the time for it. Fatal push. Fatal push. Does whatever a fatal push does. Mm-hmm. Sure. Cute. Annoying, but cute. Reminded why whenever I build decks like this, I always make sure to have Lightline Sanctities in my board. I just hate losing to Thoughtseize. This hand doesn't do a thing. Immediately mulligan into basically a zero-lander. Mm-hmm. Alrighty then. Into transmogrify, because of course you have to. Nope. Just go ahead and concede here. Alright, and some adjustments to the sideboard. Sounds fine, I guess. Turn on Thoughtseize. Place these two, not ideal, but we'll manage. "12 minutes of tanking, because we're a blue-white control deck, I see." Okay.
We have to win this fight. Here, have a gift.
Some type of dumb combo that allows you to kill your opponent here. kind of concerning. I mean, player opponent, your opponent's control.
No plan, no problem.
Trigger.
Follow your heart.
Okay, that's the game. Mm-hmm. So just have the Chandra combo to close out the game. And one Thought Distortion. Bring one Zakama. Rest in Peace doesn't make much sense. So the problem with the way I've reconfigured the deck is, well, obviously we have less anti-blue stuff, you know, less mystical disputes. Still the 2 Thought Distortions, which we have access to, well, basically 4 copies of with Fae, Mastermind's Acquisition, Thought Distortion. Okay, so I guess we only have access to 3 plus 4 copies of Archdruid's Charm. obviously. Good choice. This gets countered. Oop. What the heck does our opponent have then? Just pass. My deluge is annoying, but it's kind of whatever. It is possible. I was just supposed to pick up Thespian Stage and copy Castle Vantress, possibly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hope it gets countered. Alright, and opponent concedes. Nice. Finally picked up a win. Alright, the version of the deck we ended up with, not a whole lot different than the main deck. In fact, the main deck is still card for card what it was. Basically, after getting pounded into the ground by Thoughtseize, I added 4 copies of Leyline Sanctity, and trimmed on Mystical Disputes and some other stuff, including the end. As far as creature decks, we still left in a couple copies of Rest in Peace for the Phoenix decks. I think being able to cast your Rest in Peace is quite important, whereas Leyline of the Void is a little bit more difficult. And then you still have your Supreme Verdicts and your couple copies of Temporary Lockdown for creature decks. Left in the Alchemist Gambit. I haven't wished for it yet in the matches we played, but I think it's still a pretty reasonable card overall. Approach the Second Sun is our tertiary win con on the sideboard. Emergent Ultimatum is a nice card to wish for. And then Zakama when we kind of go Zakama control. So, it was nice to be a variant of blue-white control in the last match where we played this version. But overall, I do kind of have some hopes for this deck. It's a little bit better than the version I played a long time ago that was using like some really mopey untapped creatures as opposed to the Strict Proctor build. It'll be remaining to be seen whether this deck is viable or not. I know I definitely punted a little bit in the original blue-white control matchup against Sacrifice. We took them to a game 3, and I felt with maybe with the adjustments of the sideboard, maybe we'd have a little bit better chance against them. And then Transmogrify was whatever. That matchup didn't feel particularly close, but then again, we weren't playing any anti-discard effects, so. And then finally, the blue-white 9 lives deck. I'm not really sure what that had going on for it. I mean, I know it was playing 9 lives. It was probably playing Solemnity. Not sure why they have like a donate. Maybe they have like March or other ways to blow it up to kill your opponent. That could be a unique angle of attack for that deck that was somewhat lacking. And then, overall, we went 1-3. I'm not the best Lotus Field pilot to begin with, and then the fact that it's missing some key cards kind of weakens the deck a little bit. But obviously, Pioneer Masters comes out later this year. This is certainly a deck that would stand to benefit from that. But that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you like Explore and Pioneer content. I'll see you for the next one.